Single men of Reddit. How often do you genuinely praise a woman on their looks to be nice without ulterior motives to go out with them or just sleep with them? I used to give out compliments every now and then. Typically when someone just looked extra nice that day. Wore something that complimented their looks very well or put in some extra effort into their looks that day. Didn't really divide people into if I were interested in them or not. After several times where women have taken it the wrong way and blown it up into something that never was. Well, I have completely stopped giving compliments to women I am uninterested in. That is outside of events and situations where it is dictated by norm. I've done it a ton through the years. Had some social anxiety, so I found an easy way to say things to others without having to really interact. I do it when just walking around town or whatever and then walk away not expecting a conversation. Because it makes people happy. I got the idea from a chick who did the same to me once a long time ago and it made me really happy. So now I'm paying it forward. It makes me happy to see their confused smiles as I keep walking. And it makes me feel like a good person doing something that doesn't really make me gain anything other than self-respect. I was installing a custom conference table in a lawyer's office years ago. Got in the elevator to get another tool with a similar-aged female that was a lawyer or something close. She got in the elevator and she was walking down the street to court. As I recall, I said something along the lines of, "You look like you're about to go kick some. Good luck and go kick in quad." She was a 12 tenths and confident as to go kick in court. The next day or so she thanked me and said she kicked. Nothing sexual. Nothing flirty. Just a guy telling a girl, and maybe reassure her, she was gonna go kick. Men of Reddit. Given that men seem to have a tendency to become isolated loners, especially as they get older. How do you plan to combat this? For the time being, by getting involved with my church and maintaining a connection to a community. But I have already recognized behaviors that seem to suggest that despite this it will only be a matter of time before I do the same. I got married and had kids. Hopefully they'll keep me company when I'm old. I kept my friends from middle school. The 5 of us have been friends for almost 3 decades now. Personally, I picked up several social hobbies and volunteer. Combine that with church and I wish people would leave me alone for a bit except my brothers. They can stay. Naughty naughty. The negative description of a guy wanting to be single never seems to apply to a woman who prefers being on her own. When ladies do it, they are strong, independent and empowered, but guys are sad loners. It's ridiculous double standards. I've a partner and have been with her 14 years, but I have lots of friends, male and female, who are single, who live full and rich lives with great social circles and hobbies. This mantra that you have to be with someone to be happy is one of the main reasons folks end up in unhappy relationships. I worked hard to become isolated. Why on earth would I want to undo all that by combating it? As others have mentioned, there is a big difference between being alone and being lonely. If being isolated is not something you want, that is perfectly fine. Everyone is different and therefore has different wants/needs in life. But the way this question was framed implies that anyone who prefers solitude is somehow defective. I am older, single and have no intention of a marriage or even a live-in relationship, and yet not alone. I still date and have friends. You do not have to completely isolate yourself or be a loner and quat. We can be perfectly happy with your life. Date, just wish colleagues would shut up and just let you get the shift over with? This, but when you're on break and just want to quietly eat but everyone wants to hold a conversation? Always. I don't understand why people are so intent on disliking their colleagues. Were you that way in school too? No, I usually don't. But I'm sure many of my colleagues wish that I would shut up. They really struggle to have discipline when you have bad mental health? Many people equate discipline with punishment and quat, which isn't at all accurate. To be disciplined, one has to learn focus, concentration and resolve to accomplish a particular feat or attain a goal. Punishment is the sanctioning and condemnation of an illegal, immoral or unethical act. Being disciplined is a positive thing. Being punished is a negative thing. Emo. It's really hard to care about what disciplines I need to have when they're all for things I hate/see no point in anymore. I'm clean. That's enough discipline to me. ATM. Look out for you. Homie. Expectations can be your own. Yes. The only thing that helps me is having weekly therapy to focus on what I will do that week and remind me of the healthy options I have. Absolutely. This is really tough for me. It's so easy to just lay around eating a pint of ice cream on a bad day. I try to make plans that try to limit how much discipline I need to use on an average day, e.g. I meal prep things ahead of time, so eating healthy on any given day is a very lazy, easy option. Also, most of my poor discipline mistakes I make on a bad mental health days can be easily corrected when I feel better. How did you heal yourself from unhealthy patterns/behaviors you had because of a bad childhood? Trauma therapy and a whole lot of self-reflection. 10+ years of therapy, and most importantly, not giving up on life. Also, accepting what happened slowly helped me a lot. Yes, I'm 25 and I just finished my therapy sessions. I made it. Cognitive behavioral therapy with the right person/people. My psychiatrist is specialized in trauma and dissociation. Some unhealthy mechanisms were harder to unlearn than others, and some are still a work in progress because they've been ingrained in me for so long. So it takes time and effort to reprogram myself, but having an external point of view and a good support system with mental health professionals has certainly helped me. Problems with conflict and confection due to my parents' perpetual war against each other. Dealt with it with self-reflection, rumination, and journaling. Who is your favorite metal or hard rock artist? Ice Reagan, Rammstein, Tiamat, Defcon DOS, System of a Down, and some hardcore bands I love, even though that's a different genre. Sick of it all, Ramallah, Terror, Tool, Korn, Slipknot in that order. Hellstorm and Godsmack. It was hard enough narrowing it down to those two and can't pick one over the other. I don't know that I can narrow it down to one. Metallica, GNR, Motley Crue, Kiss, Poison are the ones I've seen live the most. But I love one-hit wonders like Kingdom Come, Bang Tango, TNT etc. And I've got special place in my heart for the smaller bands like Dangerous Toys, Cinderella, Saxon, Dokken etc. too. Bellacore, Dark Tranquillity, Insomnium. And recently I've been listening to a band called Agalloch which is really good. Iron Maiden is my favorite band in general and my favorite heavy metal band, but my favorite glam metal band is Motley Crue. Now my favorite rock bands fall into categories. GNR for heavy rock, Green Day for punk rock, Nirvana for grunge rock, RHCP for funk rock, and for garage rock it's Weezer. Classic hard rock and metal will always be my true love. Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Led Zeppelin, Megadeth, Metallica, Pantera, Dio. But my heart really belongs to Chris Cornell and anything he ever did. If I had to pick one, it'd be Daisuke Ishiwatari. The mad genius being the Guilty Gear series. He designed everything in that series. Programmed the earlier games. Did all the art himself. Wrote all the music. And even still plays guitar on all the tracks.